Welcome, listeners, to today's episode of the Black Business Roundtable. I am your host, Doug Blacksher, broadcasting to you live from the city of Diversity, Oakland, California, and we are live on location today. You know, I'm practicing that safe wearing my mask. First of all, I am watching the January 6th hearing and keep having to refill my popcorn bowl. Extra butter, too. Also, happy upcoming Father's Day this Sunday, along with Juneteenth. Today, we are celebrating our delayed 1-year happy podcast anniversary. Our first show was May 27th, 2021. So I want to thank Donnie Gluck, who gave me the opportunity for an hour show. And on that show, my first guest was Dr. Ashley Coleman, Doctor of Psychology, and Mr. Trent Willis of the ILWU Local 10. Our sponsor was Magnolia Engineering and Construction, and still is to this very day. Am I sounding okay, Dr. Ashley? I got my mask on, practicing.
Yes, you are. Thank you for keeping yourself safe and being considerate of others. You sound great.
Once again, our sponsor was Magnolia Engineering and Construction and is to this very day. Today, we are a 2-hour show thanks to Dr. Ashley Therapeutic Thursday and our growing audience. Thank you, audience. And I want to give you all a round of applause.
Yes. Thank you for tuning in.
One on Black USA. Today's highlights. We will thank and reminisce about past guests, topics, and events throughout our podcast year. What a ride it has been. So stop on by and see what we have in store for our audience today. Now, for the political highlights, no matter where you live, give the gift of paying it forward and register to vote and help your community this year and into the future. Congratulations to Georgia. Marcus Flowers, my brother, my friend, and friend of the show. Take it on home, Marcus Flowers. Senator Raphael Warnock of Georgia. Stacey Abrams, and also Val Demings of Florida. Little Marco Rubio, pack your little bag, put your little Kid Mart shoes on, and scurry on up out of there so Val Demings can come down there and clean up that mess you've made down in Florida. Locally, the winners are my friend, my past attorney, my colleague. I'm her alternate delegate for the Alameda County Democratic Central Committee. Ms. Pamela Price received 43% of the vote, and Kerry Wiley, 27%. And Yacina Sanchez, running for sheriff, downright beat out Gregory Ahern. Gregory Ahern, your empire has finally come to an end. Women are making it happen and moving us forward. We thank you, ladies, and keep up the great work. Also, we're going to have a lady who's running Chef Mimi on the show today, who has an outstanding black wine and food show today, where I am on site. And Dr. Ashley, I'm going to try not to show you too much, but good today. And now, for the news of the day, Dr. Ashley, please take it away. And if I go on, I might start walking around, so I want to make sure the audience get a full view of what Black economics and supporting our Black businesses in America. Thank you, Dr. Ashley. Please take it away.
No, thank you, Doug. And I will try to hold back my envy and my grumbling stomach as you share with us your environment and the great eats. Greetings, listeners. As always, one of the things we do on this show, we keep it real and we look at history, which when it's not addressed, repeats itself. And so, as always, We want to acknowledge the Equal Justice Initiative, which compiles a calendar, including some of the most horrific, traumatic events that have been perpetuated against people of the African diaspora. And so, again, this isn't easy to hear, but important to know our history. And so on this day, June 16th, 1944, 14-year-old George Stenney was executed in South Carolina. He was a 90-pound black 14-year-old boy who was executed in the electric chair in Columbia, South Carolina. 3 months earlier, on March 24th, George and his sister were playing in their yard when two young white girls briefly approached and asked where they could find flowers. Hours later, the girls failed to return home, and a search party was organized to find them. George joined the search party and casually mentioned to a bystander that he had seen the girls earlier. The following morning, their dead bodies were found in a shallow ditch. George was immediately arrested for the murders and subjected to hours of interrogation without his parents or an attorney present. The sheriff later claimed that George confessed to the murders, though no written or signed confession was presented. George's father was fired from his job, and his family was forced to flee amidst threats on their lives. And on March 26, a mob attempted to lynch George, but he had already been moved to an out-of-town jail. And so on April 24th, he faced a sham trial virtually alone. No African Americans were allowed inside the courthouse, and his court-appointed attorney, a tax lawyer with political aspirations, failed to call a single witness. The prosecution presented the sheriff's testimony regarding George's alleged confession, and as the only evidence of his guilt, and an all-white jury deliberated for 10 minutes before convicting him of rape and murder. And again, he was sentenced to death. He still remains the youngest person executed in the U.S. in the 20th century. And 70 years later, a South Carolina judge held a 2-day hearing which included testimony from 3 of George's surviving siblings, members of the search party, and several experts. And the state argued at the hearing that despite all the unfairness to this case, George's conviction should stand. The trial court disagreed and vacated the conviction, finding that George was fundamentally deprived of due process throughout the proceedings against him. And also they concluded that the alleged confessions, quote, simply cannot be said to be known and voluntary, and that the court-appointed attorney did little to nothing to defend George, and that his representation was the essence of being ineffective. The judge concluded, quote, I can think of no greater injustice. And definitely these are difficult words to have shared, and it is incredibly criminal what happened to George.
As always, Dr. Ashley, you have definitely summed it up, that America has come a long way, but there's still a long ways to go as it relates to equality and equity for Black and Black Americans in the country of United States of America. Dr. Ashley, what are your plans for this Father's Day and Juneteenth?
I will be celebrating my father. I have the privilege of being an only child, so I get double the love, and celebrating my dad. Hopefully there's a game 7. We tend to like basketball together. He is a very avid Warriors fan. So celebrating my father. Juneteenth, I believe I'm working for a little bit, but I'm choosing to work. So celebrating myself in the morning, celebrating resilience, and then doing a little work, which again is my effort to alleviate suffering wherever I find it.
Well, Dr. Ashley, I'm going to give up a few of my talking points because I definitely want to share with our audience what is going on here. where I am on location with Chef Mimi and her husband, Mr. Chad. What needs to go on all across this nation? Black economics in Oakland, Alameda County, and in the state of California and all across this country has been devastated with the lack of purchasing power, the lack of government contract, just the lack of inclusion. And I'm going to be real brief because I want Dr. Ashley to get our all of our guests for 2021 and 2022. But governments, including Oakland, California, and Alameda County, are intentionally excluding Black businesses out of $500 million in the city of Oakland alone. We haven't reached the county yet. That all American, whether you Black, white, Asian, or other, buy Black because we got your back. Dr. Ashley, please let our audience know who our guest was and how they made us successful in the #1 show on BlackUSA.news. I'm going to go on mute because you know I talk too much. Thank you, Dr. Ashley.
No, thank you, Doug. And thank you to our viewers. Currently, I see shout outs from TDS Budget Watchdog, as well as the Coleman. So we appreciate you for tuning in. We've had some fabulous guests again over the past year. We'll start with May, where I had the privilege of being a guest on the panel. Also, May included heavy hitters such as Trent Willis, Sandra Finley, President, CEO of the League of Black Women, Basim Kufu, President of Onyx Insulation, Ken Houston, President of the Beautification Council, and co-host Everett Butler was with us through July. With June, we had Larry Lewis, who was a temporary and welcomed co-host, and he was with us through August. Also, we had Benjamin Buggs, Robert Harris, Esquire, retired Vice President of PG&E of Oakland, Mr. Walter Edwards, real estate developer and chairman of Harlem Business Alliance, Janani Ramachandran, Esquire, our social justice warrior, joined us for most weeks during that month. And then we also had Honorable Elihu Harris, Esquire, the 46th mayor of Oakland, California, spanning from 1993 to 1999. In July, Trent Willis returned, president of the ILWU Local 10. We had Melvin McKay, past president of the ILWU Local 10. Dr. Elizabeth Burke, my colleague and friend, professor and clinical psychologist, and associate professor at University of the West. Katrina Waman, associate clinical social worker in the San Lorenzo Unified School District. Mr. Joseph Hancock, associate clinical social worker and co-founder of Love Lab San Francisco and Vermont, joined us for a mental health panel. And again, as always, Doug, it's been great being your teammate, your co-host, and I appreciate what the advocacy you have for mental health. And then we had our sister doctors, Dr. Virginia D. Banks, board certified in infectious diseases, and Dr. Glenda Newell Harris, board certified in internal medicine. And as you know, they educated us again with best practices for COVID-19 and how to keep our families and ourselves safe. So again, that was a big month for where we addressed mind and body. In August, Dr. Philip Harris, representative of the San Francisco Conservatory of Music, adjunct professor and performer at Carney Hall, and Larry Lewis and Creighton Davis Esquire joined us. And speaking of Dr. Philip Harris, in June of 2022, he just released his new EP, In My Fields, with 4 new songs. The titles are I'm Tired, You Ain't, Let's Talk, and Just Like That. Please check out his EP, which is streaming on all major music platforms. And also you can find his music attached to BBRT's Instagram Reels. take a listen and check it out. Also, you can find out more about Dr. Harris by visiting his website, www.philiplnharris.com. Continuing on, in September, we followed up with Daryl Collins, owner of DC Drywall, and Chef Michonnet. Olier. Oh, Chef Michonnet, you had my mouth watering, and I remember Doug was on location with you, taunting me. Again, owner of The Busy Wife. We had Miss Tamara Brown, Army intelligence veteran, law school graduate. We also had Miss Pamela Price, Esquire, and Mr. Ray Bobbitt, founder of African American Sports and Entertainment Group, AASEG. Travel and tourism was discussed with Miss Alita Harris Finley and Miss Kay Barrett. Again, Miss Finley and Miss Kay Barrett, the latter is the co-owner of Unique Travel Services. And then again, we rounded out the month by having our sister doctors, Dr. Virginia D. Banks and Dr. Glenda Newell Harris, return, providing us again with invaluable information about how to continue to keep ourselves safe. And at the time, we were preparing for the holiday season. In October, we started the month off by having Dr. Calvin Wheeler, medical director for a large undergraduate and graduate medical education program in Northern California. Mr. Carl Gordon came on and shared with us his expertise, and he's the CEO of Gordon Plastering Incorporated. Miss Nicole Burgess was COO of Harris Hoisting of San Francisco. And then we also had the Driving While Black episode with Mr. Michael Thrash and his attorney, Matt Hawkins. On that show, which talked about trauma, driving while Black, and injustice, Mr. Robert Harris returned to share his expertise with us. We also had Miss Carol Fife rounding out the month of October. Thank you again. And then in November, we have Miss Janani Ramachandran and Miss Brianna Noble, again, founder of Mulatto Meadows and Humble. And that's an Oakland-based equine company program for youth from disadvantaged backgrounds. The quote, she was the black cowgirl who was pictured mounting a horse, and she rode her horse during the George Floyd protest in Oakland. And we also had Mr. Trent Willis return, as well as Kamal Hubbard, who shared with us, a fellow Black USA host who hosts the Black USA Crypto News, and he graced us with his presence and educated us on cryptocurrency. Boy, did we take a lot of notes. And then in December, we had Gene Hazard of Clean Oakland and the Oakland Promise lawsuit, Miss Carol Wyatt, Community Policing Advisory Board, Mr. Creighton Davis, Esquire, Community Policing Advisory Board. What a 2021. Thank you again for all of our guests who graced us. And if we think about just how quick that was, a close almost 6 months before we transitioned into 2022. Something tells me Doug is behind the scenes and Chef Mimi may be feeding him. I'll go ahead and start us off with the 2022 highlights.
Can I briefly interject here? Say something about that. All-star lineup cast of 2021, including the two doctors, and that's the main reason I have my mask on, because Dr. Newell, Glenda Newell, and Dr. D.T. Expressed and concern that the pandemic is not over, and the variances are more powerful and contagious than the original. So, as you can see, audience, even though I'm up here by myself, people are walking by. I want to make sure that my audience see me practicing safe practices when it comes to coronavirus and the variances. Also, I want to follow up on African American Sports and Entertainment Group. I still want to say As of this date, Mayor Libby Schaaf has not even mentioned Ray Bobbitt and his team, who includes Shonda Scott, John Jones III, Alan Dones, Robert Bobb, who was the city manager for the city of Oakland a couple of decades ago, was run off by then Mayor Jerry Brown, and a host of other all-star, what they call bankers out of Chicago, who have the resources to negotiate with the NFL and the Coliseum, Oakland Coliseum. Second, let's get to Tamara Brown with how she introduced me to be where I am today. And when I mean introduced, she helped me on my first show. I know you're watching, my sister. Mr. Robert L. Harris, who does an outstanding job to this day in his social justice work, and also making sure that Blacks have inclusion on economics, as he participates and is a member of many organizations, which include Oakland African American Chamber of Commerce, NAACP, etc. Kay Barrett, co-owner of Unique Travel Services, the information she shared was invaluable. And we can't forget Driving While Black. Every Black person in America can identify with that. And Michael Thrash and his attorney, Matt Hawkins Esquire, are still fighting to get this man's money that was stolen by the police department in Texas. Janani Ramachandra, who's going to be our next city council person. And Janani, we got your back, sister. Every show we mention you. Brianna Noble, founder of Mulatto Metal. I went to a event she had recently. And audience, let me tell you something. This event was designed to get inclusion of all young people, Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, and other, on how therapeutic it could be to ride a horse and care for animals like the horses she has. And I've seen some goats and some other farm animals when I went there. Let's keep going on. Kamal Hubbard, our guru on crypto news, Black USA. Gene Hazard. Now, I'm going to finish up with Gene Hazard and Mr. Creighton Davis. Creighton Davis, I'll start with him first. He still has done an outstanding job on the Community Policing Advisory Board, helping Oakland address the crimes and sideshow and murders and robberies that continuously plague the city of Oakland, California, and also as we protect our police chief, who's out here trying to make a difference, but is constantly, at times, trying to be backstabbed by some of his own rank and file. Gene Hazard, the Clean Oakland and the Oakland Promise lawsuit. Let me be clear here, audience. Gene Hazard is 70 plus years old. He has spent decades fighting and I won't say fighting, uncovering with evidence crimes that some of these city politicians are doing, making getting big contributions from large companies for Oakland Promise, but we have not seen one student that has definitely benefited from that $70 million that Libby Schaaf, Oakland Promise, the mayor of Oakland, has promised to help our young people. And that's shameful. Shame, 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 Mayor Libby Schaaf. Gene Hazard, we're going to have you back on the show. And keep up the good work, brother, because if we continue to close our eyes, especially Black America, we will continuously be on the bottom of every list that is in the country, whether it be health, housing, especially economics. If you want to keep a people enslaved, you take their ability to generate money. Politics in Oakland, Alameda County, state of California, all across the United States. You need to remember that as you do not include Black businesses on the economic development and growth of this country. Dr. Ashley, can you wrap it up with our next group from January to this date, because we have, once again, audience, an all-star lineup. Thank you.
No, Donnie.
Is that Donnie Governor? Go ahead, Donnie. Please. We, for our year anniversary, we need you, brother.
Why you got a mask on, man? Why you got a mask on?
I'm out in public, and Dr. Glenda Newell told me, if I see you with that mask on, it's going to be without that mask off, it's going to be a problem. So I am listening to our friend to the show, Dr. Glenda Newell Harris.
Dr. Ashley, how you doing? Congratulations on 1 year of Dr. Ashley, you the superstar. I ain't come to see him.
Oh my goodness.
I came to see you.
Oh, thank you, Donnie. Thank you so much for this platform. Wow, what a year. So many wonderful conversations we've had. As we're going through this list, I'm just thinking about the moments, the information that's been shared, the people who have felt safe to be able to express vulnerable emotions. What a platform.
Any tidbits for us business people, entrepreneurs in the middle of this year? You know, the prognosis for the rest of the year from a fiscal standpoint, financial standpoint, stock market, all of that is, real suspect. Gasoline prices, food prices, eggs, butter, bread, bacon. Any thoughts for the entrepreneur?
Yes. And you bring up a wonderful point. All the prognosis look grim, right? We're hearing doom and gloom. Protect your peace. Hold out hope. May have to hunker down some. The timeline may have to be readjusted. That's okay. But that doesn't mean to give up. That just means to plan to pivot. So one of the things in COVID that we've talked about for business owners, my colleague, Dr. Burke, who was on the show with me, we wrote an article talking about how to redefine productivity. For the entrepreneurs and the go-getters, we have goals and we want to see things happen on a timeline. However, we have to be flexible and adjust. That doesn't mean to change the goal. It may mean to manage the expectations. And so is your business plan, is there flexibility? Do you need different supports? Right now, is there a certification or some connections that you can make to help to kind of get ahead and see, I was going to implement my business this way. What's my online presence? What's my marketing look like? Everything is online now. What can you do in order to increase the streams of income? Because that's where we are. It's challenging, but it's not the end.
Okay, one other question for you, Doc. I've dealt with personally a number of deaths on this side of the family, on that side of the family, friends, not all COVID related. Some people, unfortunate things happen, but it's and I'm not alone. There are a lot of people out there. Some people had 3 or 4 deaths that they dealt with. Others of us have had 15, 20 deaths. And that includes the stress of going to a funeral or going to a viewing or COVID restrictions. I went to a funeral Friday and my friend's mom was there. She's 90, so you got to be masked up. The stresses, the stressors. Any thoughts on managing death in the middle of a pandemic and still trying to be on your grind as an entrepreneur? You might be a husband, a wife, children.
Donnie, you're asking the $1 million question. I want to normalize this. I know, and to my audience, that we Doug and I come on here and we keep it real, and I'm very transparent. And that's what I like to be here. Donnie, that's hit my home too. I found myself on a plane at the end of April going to one of my best friend's parents' funerals, and I was nervous. So I normalized the experience. First of all, the grief of it all, having to hear about death, experience it. There's a grieving process that we all have to do, but we don't always have the space to grieve because we're busy. So first, it's being around people for the first time in a very long time. I got on an airplane for the first time in 3 years. I noticed that when I sat down, I used to love to fly, still do, but it's a little different. I noticed my heart rate racing. I noticed different things. So I used the breathing techniques on the plane that I would practice with our audience. But then getting to the funeral, being around people, there's so much time that has been lost. We have to grieve that. Seeing people and not maybe being able to still not be able to hug them the way we want to, or maybe having some type of hesitation as you're trying to gauge how comfortable someone else feels. This is heavy. This is heavy on us. So we have to have the outlets. We have to talk about our being sad, missing the person. Maybe you didn't get a chance to say goodbye to that person before they passed. This grieving period is not easy. It's not easy at all. But what we have to do is acknowledge it, acknowledge our emotions when we're sad, when we're angry, and call it out. I'm missing so-and-so. I'm missing my aunt. I'm missing this person. I love them. I'm going to honor them going forward. They will want me to do this. I'm going to carry the baton. But Donnie, grief, we're grieving people. We're grieving time. We're grieving lost opportunities. Our children are maybe grieving that graduation looked different for them, different milestones. They missed out on this opportunity. They missed out on that opportunity, and we have to grieve it. If we stuff it down, it's going to come out in different ways. It's going to come out in substance use. It's going to come out in anger. It's going to come out in overeating or other behavioral things. And when you need support, go and get it. It's one of the number one reasons people have come to see me, is to grieve, and then also to exercise it out, scream it out, punch the pillows, whatever you need to do.
I got a positive to report, and then I'm out of here. And again, Congratulations on a powerful year of home run hitting. You better watch that Martin Mitchell. He comes on Sunday morning.
Okay.
His numbers, y'all both home run kings and queens. But the thing I wanted to share with you is I asked myself, Donnie, what makes you happy? And one thing that I enjoy is time with my grandchildren. The little things. It's time. The most precious thing that I could ever do with them is time.
Yes.
But congratulations on a year of home run hitting, representing Oakland, our sister kindred spirit. Doug, we're proud of you. Look at Doug. Look at Doug. Look at Doug. You better let that lady run the show, Doug. That's how you win.
Well, Donnie, there's a little bit of background music. I couldn't hear you. I'm going to look at the show to hear exactly what you said. But audience, let me be clear here today. Without Donnie Glover's vision, without Donnie Glover's persistence and patience to getting the message out, not to just America, but to Black America, there would not be a BlackUSA.News network podcast show and other shows that is here to inform and enlighten America. When you listen to media, mainstream media, they want to perpetrate Black people with baggy pants, shooting each other, drug addicts, etc. This network gives our people a chance to see what it's like to be a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, a Black woman-owned engineering company, a Black doctor of psychology, and many other hosts of opportunities, occupation, and jobs that will stimulate the mind of our young Black Americans. Thank you, Donnie Glover, for this opportunity.
Just one more thing. We forgot to mention, besides those hosts, other co-hosts, Everett, I remember Everett, some other people.
Yes.
But we'd be remiss to not acknowledge that lady you got driving the Starship Enterprise, Kim. Kim, we love you. We appreciate you. We are proud of you. We are grateful for you.
Yes.
Keep us together.
Yes.
She's tenacious.
Well, Donnie, and as I wrap up what I'm going to say, because if it had not been for you, I had an opportunity, audience, to speak at the Black Business Expo Olympics. Donnie Glover recommended me. I gave a 40-minute keynote speech. And Donnie, that was the denouement of my life, being able to talk to not only America, but to the world. And I hope I represented the Black USA.News Network to what you know I was going to do. Knock it out of the park, brother.
And don't forget STEM City USA, Dr. Tyrone Taborn. This show is in the metaverse. So hello, Trent Willis, Dr. Ashley, much love to you.
No, likewise, Donnie. Thank you. And I just want to say, we give you your flowers every week, but that's one of the things the pandemic taught me, is to give people their flowers while they can. So thank you again for this platform.
I can't wait to meet you in Oakland.
Likewise.
Thank you, Donnie. We love you, man. Oakland, California, for Donnie Glover for president. Was that Trent Willis back there? Oh my God!
Before he joins, Doug, we have such a Trent. We're going to welcome you. But one of the things about giving flowers, we have so many surprises that we didn't even know were coming. So Donnie, Trent, we're so excited you're joining us. And then in the comments, I have friends and family showing up and they're giving flowers now. It's a lot of emotions happening. I'm used to soothing people, not crying the tears, but I may beat Doug, and maybe I need you to squeeze the stress ball this time.
Well, let me just tell you that. My man, Trent Willis, and let me tell you, Trent, when you decide to run for any office in Oakland and Alameda County, you will have not only support of this show, but you will have the support of Black USA.News Network. We need Black politicians who are not afraid to speak up and speak out, who are not going to get paid while their constituents get played. Trent Willis, light it up, my brother. Good to see you on the show, man.
All right, good to see you all. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Well, you know what I'm doing here, Brother Doug. I want to, from the ILWU Local 10, I want to just congratulate you for your 1-year anniversary on your show. I also want to thank you for giving the ILWU, not only Local 10, but the ILWU as a whole, a platform to express.
Did we lose Trent?
I think for a moment he should be hopefully be able to rejoin us shortly.
Yeah, we're supposed to have we're supposed to have an hour and 15-minute show. The way this is going today, oh, there he is. I'm going
back.
on mute.
I'm back. I'm like the Golden State Warriors. I'm back.
Oh.
So like I was saying, Doug, I just wanted to get on here and congratulate you for a very successful show for your 1-year anniversary, and to wish you many, many more years of success on your show. I wanted to say that your show is absolutely invaluable to the Black community, as far as disseminating the information that we need to work, continue that struggle and work towards getting ahead in society. I know that the Black community needs much work. We need much to be much more united, and I think that shows like this help us along. And I really appreciate you giving the ILWU a platform on your show. I also wanted to send a shout out to the people that work with you, like Dr. Ashley,
Thank you.
I want to give you a shout out too and congratulate you. I want to congratulate Brother Donnie Glover, for who I understand made this all possible. Thank you very much for the platform. I wanted to thank Sister Kim Harris. She's in the background. She does a lot of work in communicating for you to get your show set up, and I really appreciate all of her work and helping me get on this show. And I want to wish my little sister, Tammy Willis, who is the CEO of Magnolia Construction and Engineering, a very happy birthday. I won't say how old she is, okay, but she knows I know her age. So I know she's watching. I want to say happy birthday to you. And once again, I can't say it enough, Doug. During these trying times in particular, the last 2 years, there was a lot going on. And I'm talking about other than COVID-19. There's still a lot going on in society. The poor people are getting poorer, and rich people are getting richer. We're talking about inflation, but I think what we're really looking at is a money grab from the middle class, the elimination of the middle class, which we all know is going to disproportionately affect Black and brown people and people of color and minorities are going to be the first ones to be wiped out, by this. So we have to do all we can to fight back. And your show is a platform that many of us can use to fight back, fight the powers that be. And we really appreciate it. Shout out to SLAP, also Schools and Labor Against Privatization, who's fighting the hard fight to end the billionaires' run on public resources. And shout out to all of those organizations in the street and all of the activists who are putting forth their a lot of times their bodies, but their minds and their spirit towards the freedom of people as a whole. Shout out to all of you, and once again, congratulations, Doug, and thank you for having this show.
Trent, keep up the good work out there, because if it wasn't for the ILWU Local 10 fighting for those those good paying jobs, the white people in this city and this county would definitely have shut us down, and all jobs are good. But ILWU, with the 74% African American, one of the largest minority Black unions membership in the nation, keep up the great work, brother. And we here on blackusa.news, Black Business Roundtable, will support you and SLAP and the ILWU Local 10 forever. God bless, brother. Thank you.
Hey, you know what? One thing I forgot to mention, Doug, even though I can't go into detail about it too much, but we're actually in the fight of our lives right now. Not only Local 10, but the ILWU up and down the coast. We're currently in contract negotiations. Our general contract is slated to expire on July 1st, 2022. So we're in contract negotiations with the employers. Our employers represent some of the richest and wealthiest ship owners, cargo carriers, and terminal operators in the world, from all around the world. We're in a big fight with them to be treated equal, and we'll need the support of all of the community and all of your guests on this show in order for us to continue to survive. We've been here since 1934, longshoremen, and we don't plan on going anywhere. So I will be keeping you all updated on that struggle.
I couldn't hear you, but once I when I go back over the show later on, when we're down here at the Black Wine and Black Food and Wine Experience in downtown Oakland, so I couldn't hear everything. but I'm sure everything you said, Mr. Trent Willis, is right on point. And once again, Dr. Ashley, and I do speak for Dr. Ashley and I think I can say that you have our support, and we will make sure that we get this word out, because if we don't stick together, they're going to break us apart.
That's
Thank
right.
you, Trent Willis, and keep up the great work out there.
All right. Thank you. Happy birthday, Tammy, and go Warriors.
Thanks, Trent.
All right.
Dr. Ashley, take us into the next half of the year, which starts in January. I can barely hear you. You know, I keep putting my head up, but girl, it's going down. Once we finish up, I'm going to walk around and let you guys see what's going on, but it is going down in Oaktown.
This sounds like they're getting ready for a celebration tonight. So I will go ahead and take us into what great just surprises. Take us into the 2022 highlights. So we started off the year in January by having our very own social justice warrior, Janani Ramachandran, join the show. And as well as we had Elisa Victory, who is running for the mayor of Oakland, joined by Mr. Trent Willis. And they were all on location at Soul Slice with Chef Carter Lewis. Again, I have to still come back home and try those oxtails. We also had Vice Mayor Rebecca Kaplan, Dr. Newell, and Dr. D. Banks returned at the start of the year, reminding us that this pandemic is not over. We also were joined by Ray Bobbitt of the African American Sports and Entertainment Group. And in January, we really went into the investigation into the previous governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo. Again, there was a lot of transition of power, as well as the MLK Day of Service. And then one of the things that Doug definitely brought to the forefront were the results of the 2017 disparity study and the follow-up, and talking about the inequity that's been occurring and how that's adversely impacting Black businesses in Oakland. And remember that powerful letter by Miss Jean Blacksher, Doug's mother. What a January. In February, Janani returned, as well as we were joined by returning citizens John Jones III and Sabir Lockett. As well as we had Georgia Congressional District 14 candidate Mr. Marcus Flowers, who was running against Marjorie Taylor Greene. Honorable Elihu Harris returned to our show. In addition, Mr. Trent Willis joined as well. And we celebrated Black history, as well as a woman of color being nominated for the United States Supreme Court. And just that quickly, we launched into March, where Kamal Hubbard, again, came back and gave us even more information about cryptocurrencies, blockchains. I still have those notes. And when we need a refresher, tune into him on Friday evenings. We were joined by Janani, also Donnie Glover, and Tajmir, producer of all the shows under the umbrella of the BlackUSA.News platform. John Jones and Sabir Lockett returned to the show. We had Janani, as well as the historical official nomination of Ketanji Brown Jackson. And it was Women's History Month as well. So I got a chance to honor some women who are really important to me. And then we had the start of Ukraine and Russia. We also had the Tuskegee Airmen mural that was completed. So much happened in the month of March. And what I want to highlight about the Tuskegee Airmen mural was that it was completed by Major Jewel B. Butler, who was the late uncle to the previous co-host and friend of the show, Everett Butler. And as we continued into April, we had part 2 of Driving While Black. So Mr. Michael Thrash and his attorney, Matt Hawkins, returned to give us an update. And as you remember, viewers, they talked about all of the loopholes that they jumped through, the numerous miles that they were driving and flying to get to the destination, and are still facing delays. We're hoping for an update soon. please remember the hashtag Driving While Black that we highlight every week. Janani returned. Then we had Danny Glover, winemaker of L'Objet Wines, and his invaluable information to entrepreneurs and to those who are open to making a pivot in their careers, centering their well-being. Mr. Trent Willis returned, and Miss Kentaji Brown Jackson was confirmed, as well as Doug, you were on the scene in April at the kickoff of Rebecca Kaplan's campaign. And then there were school closures, police oversight, and actually the birth of SLAP, again, that Trent Willis referenced earlier. As well as there's the Urban Cowgirl Ranch event in Castro Valley and the grand opening that BBRT attended. So many wonderful things happened in April to be followed up in May. We had Trent Willis, Janani returned, and then we had the touching beginning of what we call the Parent Dyad show. So first, listeners, we had Sabir Lockett and his father, Willie Lockett Sr. And if you did not see that show, all of our shows are wonderful, but especially when we talk about reunifications of families of individuals who have been incarcerated, and also just seeing Black men love on one another and the father-son dynamic. What a powerful show that then was followed up with John Jones III and his mother. Again, we love to give people their flowers while they can smell them. And in both of those shows, we got to see repair, the love of a parent that has no boundaries, and the evidence of hope, truly faith, and overcoming and transformation. And let's see what else. That was anything else in May. Yes, we had Elisa Victory, who is running, Esquire, who is running for mayor of Oakland. She has graced our show several times. Thank you, Elisa, for being willing to accept our invitation. Talk to us about, community agreements and so much invaluable information you've shared about labor workforce. But also, we talked about the trauma of Uvalde, Texas school shooting, gun control, everything that was happening, Roe versus Wade, and just talking about reproductive health and these topics that can seem taboo. And that's what I appreciate about BBRT is we're not afraid to talk about the topics that people shy away from and to do that candidly. And then so far in June, one of the things we're going to do is reschedule our conversation with Ms. LaTanya Hawkins of Construction Resource Management, CRC. Wow. 6 months in. Doug, what do you think?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dr. Ashley.
No, I'm asking for your reaction.
I have truly amazed. I'm inspired. If you notice, you don't hear that background anymore. They saw me. So someone gave up their office for me to come in so that we can do the show and our audience can get a full impact on what's going on in Oakland, California, and how it ripples out, not here in Oakland, but in the county, but in the state, but all across the United States of America. Let's go back real quick and just look at that lineup of people we've had. Soul Slight, Elisa Victory, and getting back on Elisa Victory, audience, we just got a confirmation from Shane Tao running for mayor. She'll be on the show July 7th to give us her input on what's going on. Lauren Taylor running for mayor of Oakland. He's going to be on the 14th of July. Treva Reed's office chief of staff is getting in touch with our dynamite backstage producer who puts everything together. I call her Miss K. And we have we want to allow all candidates who are running for mayor of Oakland to come on to the show. I won't beat you up. I'm going to ask you some questions, but I am not going to do anything that will intimidate you. I know you see me very aggressive, but I keep saying
Yeah.
We, the citizens of Oakland, want to know what your plan is to dig us out of this hole that has excluded Black businesses, decreased Black ownership of homes, and that a disparity study has demonstrated not one, but two, 2002 and 2016 disparity studies show that there is a purposefully designed plan to exclude Black businesses out of government contract here in the city of Oakland, California. Vice Mayor Kaplan, I want to thank her for coming back on the show with the plan of the buses and trucks with the emission problems that are hurting and killing our kids, causing diseases, etc., here in Oakland, California. Also, I want to thank her for her continued support of the African American Sports and Entertainment Group. Dr. Noel and Dr. D. Banks has continuously kept me. That's why I can take my mask off, because I'm in close. Because Dr. Noel said, if I catch that mask off, boy. Also, Janani Ramachandran with her outstanding energy and her social justice posture in developing fairness in the city of Oakland, California, which we do not have a lot of fairness going on under the current regime that's running this city. Kamal Hubbard, once again. Trent Willis, thank you, my brother. I wish I had this office earlier. I could have heard what you said, but I can assure you, I'm going to watch this show again so I can hear exactly what you said. And we thank you for informing our audience of how important it is for us to continue to fight for union jobs for our people. Donnie Glover, man, I love you like my brother. Thank you. And I appreciate, I didn't hear everything you said, but I'm going to go back over and listen to that again. Also, we have John Jones and Sabir. You talk about heart-wrenching and bringing tears to your eyes. America, these two young men and their stories should be a movie of how they could have been statistics of the system that has devastated Black people in this country for hundreds of years. Enslavement. And when you go to prison, that's basically you're doing free labor. You're enslaved, because we have a lot of people in prison who were falsely in prison. That's why we have EJI, Equal Justice Initiative. The mayor, Elihu Harris, that brother is inspiring, and he is always welcome on the show. We were looking at having the candidate forum, but we thought it would be better to hear each candidate from their own mouths what their plan is and legislation that they've created to include Black people if they are elected as mayor. The only way you can hear their plan, like you heard Elisa, and let me be clear, audience, I want to hear each and every person who's running for mayor. I want to hear your plan. I want to know your plan, because the plans that are in Oakland now does not plan to have Black inclusion in that plan. So the next mayor, I want to know what your plan is, and we're going to use your information to hold you accountable. And this platform is going to ask you questions that Oaklanders want to know. What are you going to do to include Black businesses moving forward in the $500 million of contracts that go out every year that has 0.32%? So if we look at dollars, that's 1.4 million. And once again, audience, that's not even crumbs. You have to lick the pan to know that there's a little pie in it. You can't even taste the pie. 1.4 million out of $500 million in Oakland, California, that is given out to Black contractors. 1.4 million out of $500 million $500 million. And I keep saying that number because I want that to ring in your ear. How could you be fair if Black businesses only get $1.4 million? Shameful. Shame, 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 Oakland, California. As we go down the list here, Michael Thrash and his attorney did an outstanding job. Stay on it, Michael. They say it's not given. My mother used to say this. It's not given to the quickest, or the fastest, or the strongest, but the one who holds out and endures to the end. Hold out, Michael. Hold out and get what they took from you, and hold the state of Texas and the county accountable for what those bad policemen had done to you. Dr. Ashley, I hope I got everything. I think we have gotten that. Oh, Latanya Hawkins.
We covered them. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, last but not least, my sister Latanya Hawkins. I talked to her earlier this week. She apologized for not being able to make it on the show that day, but she's doing some outstanding things in the community. CRC, Construction Resource Center. They are training contractors and subcontractors, not how to build a business, but how to grow and strengthen and develop their business, not for today, not for tomorrow, but to next year and into next decades to come. Janani Ramachandran, Esquire, friend of the show and running for District 4 in Oakland, California. Visit her new website at Janani4 Oakland, and that's FOR Oakland, California, or her new Instagram at Janani4, and that's the numeral 4. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I'm in the room by myself, Doc. Don't get me.
Hi, Dr. Glenda Noel. How are you?
Hi, how are you? I just wanted to congratulate both of you on your anniversary. I am so excited about both of you and all of the lives that you have impacted over your period of time. It's been an honor for me to be a part of your shows from time to time, and just keep doing what you're doing and spreading the word in the community and asking the right questions and shaking the right trees and helping to bring important concerns about the community to the community.
Wow. Go,
you know what? I didn't mean to interrupt you, Dr. Ashley.
No, go ahead.
Dr. Newell. You guys got me. I can barely hold my. You guys got me crying to see our guests come back and welcome another year informing people who look like us on this platform. So, Kim, you're my hero, girl.
She's getting us good. No, Dr. Glenda, I just wanted to tell you thank you to you and Dr. D for sharing all the invaluable information. And I also want to let you know that Doug did have his mask on a few minutes ago when he made sure to shout you out, but you've shared invaluable information, and thank you for just freely sharing your wisdom while being on the front lines. We are so grateful for you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Ashley. And everybody, I want to say to everyone, keep wearing your mask, keep social distancing, keep washing your hands. That's our defense. Since I've seen you, I too have been a COVID survivor. And I just want to say that I got through it, no problem. I'm back in the saddle, and I had no repercussions. But there are a lot of people that had it at the time that I had it, and they did not, and they are still struggling with it. So it is real. The disease is not going away. It's coming to a theater near you. If you haven't gotten it, just stand by and be prepared. But wearing your mask is the best protection, and getting your vaccination. The combination of the two will help you get through COVID, hopefully with flying colors like I did. But just be careful, pay attention. I have a good story. The most difficult part about my COVID was not being able to see my granddaughter for several days. But other than that, I was able to push through it. So congratulations to both of you. This is the time to congratulate both of you. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to congratulate you on your show.
Thank you.
Dr. Noel, we'll see you in a couple of months. I hear you guys are scheduled. And once again, I got my mask. I'm in the room. I got my mask.
Very good. Very good. All right. Take care. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Dr. Ashley, I gotta admit, I'm all clouded up here. Kim, I'm gonna get you, girl. I'm gonna get you, Kim.
I already sent the same message, Doug, just for a moment. I sent her a message backstage because I face dropped. I love surprises. I love surprising other people. I do like receiving surprises, but to see our former guests, to see family and friends in the comments, wow, and their words of support. We talk so much about strengthening the mind, but it's also about love and support. It's invaluable to success and overall well-being. So I am too have been fighting back the tears of appreciation and gratitude that we have such a community that rallies behind us and wants to see us thrive and be well.
Let me tell you something. For our producer, and she know who she is, Kim, I am in tears because the people who she brought on today, audience, they're the reason why we are number one. They're the reason why our audience is growing, because these people reflect what's going on in the community. These people are images to our kids of who they can become. I often say, more often than not, that if our kids can see it, they can be it. Lord have mercy. Kim, you got me today, girl. If you never got me, but Dr. Ashley, I have got to say this. I am truly, truly smitten by me being around you and Kim and what you guys have helped this show become. Donnie Glover gave us a platform. No, he gave me a platform, and I reached out and got the two most intelligent women I could think of. And audience, we don't get paid for this. We do this because it is our civic right to inform America, specifically Black America. In Oakland, California, and I'll be brief with this because I gotta run and get my phone charger. So I'm gonna likely to take over like 5 minutes. I've got to charge my phone, but it's not going dead, audience. But we have mass media constantly showing how Black Americans, all we do is buy expensive Nike shoes. All we want to do is play basketball, football. All we do is shoot and kill each other. Like Trump used to say, what do you worry about doing things? I'm just taken away by what's going on. So Dr. Ashley, if you could keep the audience busy
I got
for about
it.
10 minutes, I'm going to run down here and grab my chart. But, you know, our guests, Dr. Ashley and Miss Producer K, we're going to call her PK, Producer K, it's because of you that our audience get bigger and bigger every day. Thank you. Thank you, Black Business Roundtable audience. From Doug Blacksher, Dr. Ashley, Kim, and Black USA. We appreciate you. Dr. Ashley, please take it away.
I will, but Doug, you're on the clock because we have our listeners mostly from Oakland, although we know you are throughout the country, have a date at 6 o'clock. But listeners, we also would not be here without you. Thank you so much for your continued support. And we want to let you know a few things. We have new online friends of the show on Instagram at millennial.democrats or hashtag millennial democrats and they call out politics, discuss politicians. And later this summer, they will join us on BBRT. And again, our favorite law school student delivers his experience from a Black man's perspective. And you can find him on Instagram. His handle is at the masked law student or hashtag the masked law student. on his YouTube channel. Check him out as well to learn more about the Milford Act of California. And again, thank you, Mr. Donnie Glover, BlackUSA.News. Be sure to tune in to Chap and Friends on Mondays, Party Marty Let's Talk on Tuesdays. There's Black USA Crypto News with Kamal Hubbard on Fridays. And on Saturdays, there's a Blackout Live from New York with Tashmir. And on Sundays, there's also 60 Minutes in Black USA with Michael Haney. Also, audience, thank you for your continued thoughts, prayers, messages, and donations for Carlton. Again, there's a new hashtag, Stand with Carlton of Raleigh, NC 2022. And as she's been mentioned, Magnolia Engineering and Construction, Miss Tammy Willis, she is the president, chief executive officer of the company, one of the few African-American, female-owned and operated engineering and construction firms in the country and located in the heart of Oakland. Visit the company's website to learn more, www.magnoliaengineeringandconstruction.com, because if our daughters can see her, they too can be her. As well, happy birthday, Tammy. And to join our BBRT advertisement family, or to possibly be a guest on our show, please send us an email and close with the company details, address, your website, and phone number, and address that email to bbrt2021@hotmail.com for vetting consideration. In addition to our fellow shows, Donnie Glover also hosts a number of shows on the platform. We want to invite you to tune into BlackUSA.News Morning Show, The Danny Glover Show, Shared Space, Frontline News, Troy Rawlings Show, The Beverly Smith Show, and stay tuned as new shows are added regularly. And then also, again, we've talked about this show, but it was so very important. We know the power of social media and driving support and advocacy. So again, hashtag Stop School Bullying Crane County TX 2022, as well as hashtag Driving While Black Michael Thrash Taylor County TX. And if you've missed those shows, please tune into our episode from October 14th, 2021. Doug, for our final announcement.
I saw we had Janani Ramachandran on the show. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh.
Hi, just popping in really quickly to say congratulations and happy podcast anniversary.
Oh, thank you, Janani.
Janani, as I was telling Dr. Noel, Trent Willis, and you guys, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be where we are today. With what you are doing in the community, and now we have a platform to share with people. We got a lot of people out here who are getting paid, and politicians. So I'm just going to say, Janani, this show, Black Business Roundtable, and this network, we're going to support you as you become elected to city council. We're going to support you when you run for mayor, when you run for assembly person, and when you run for Senate. The Black Business Roundtable will support politicians who take their job seriously and not get paid while their constituents get played. We love you, girl. Thank you. And I'll be at your party, too.
Please do.
Keep up the great work, Janani.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Have a
guys
great
got
rest
me up
of
here all clouded up. And I'm not going to say I'm embarrassed, but go ahead, Dr. Janani, thank you.
Well, Doug, I will take this time to again express my appreciation to you and our secret weapon behind the scenes producer, and as well as to Donnie Glover. What a ride. I'm so grateful for the opportunities and experience the growth, the laughter, the tears, the squeeze balls, and we have so much more ahead of us. And now we can close out our anniversary show.
I think a few more may be coming.
Oh, we have more surprises? I'm getting
Kim just sent me a text and said to hang on.
Oh,
Kim, I'm gonna whoop you.
Kim is so good. I'm still trying to figure out how she even, the comments. I started off, I've seen my parents, and then she found cousins, and then she found best friends, and they're busy. And I'm trying to figure out how she pulled this off, but knowing how she keeps us on point with our timing, she's really good. But yeah, she's going to have to spill the beans and let us know how she put this all together.
Dr. Ashley, Kim had to put some work in to get these people on today.
Oh yes.
And let me tell you this, Kim. We love you. Mm-hmm. And audience, Kim puts our scripts together. Kim also works with Magnolia, and not just, but she helps with doing work to build Magnolia Engineering and Construction. Kim, you are a diamond, and you're not in the rough. You are a diamond. Thank you. I'm telling you, I'm fighting audience. I am truly fighting tears back, because some of the people, all the people who've been on this show in the past year have definitely elevated us to where we are today. And without having someone who can, especially with me, help guide me with putting it in writing, this show would not be where it is. This is the type of show, America, specifically Black America, that white America, not all white America, but many white Americans are afraid of. We bring the real news to Oakland, Alameda County, state of California, and to America, specifically Black America. So thank you, Kim. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get you, girl. I can't wait to see her. I can't wait to see her, because I am truly smitten by all the things that all the people have come on. So, hold on. Oh, I can barely sleep. Oh, she got me today.
Oh yeah, no,
Dr.
she got
Ashley,
us good.
I'm going to read a few more things up until before we close out, but.
Oh, I gotta say. Oh yeah, no. Oh yeah, you have something that you haven't shared?
Well, I was going to read once again. Oh, that's you. That's your.
No, I got us all the way to the literal closing.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. I got us all the way to your closeout.
Well, if Kim doesn't have any more surprises, I was going to walk us down to meet Chef Mimi. Now, audience, Chef Mimi is a Black woman who owns a company. And I want to take a few minutes to interview her in person, live. We are in downtown Oakland. As you could tell, they didn't have air conditioning out here, and it's kind of like a warehouse turned into a meeting room, but it's beautiful down here. So I'm going to take the camera off, Dr. Ashley. If you can give a few words to our audience. And Kim just sent me something. Go ahead, just walk slowly. Dr. Ashley, can you give our audience just a few words of wisdom while I get to Chef Mimi and her husband? And audience, I want to put her husband in here too, because Black America, let me be clear. Our businesses, whether they be male-owned or female-owned, if you are married, support your wife. Support your husband. Once again, Black America, support your wife and support your husband in their endeavors to make a difference, to build a business. Because it's not easy for Black-owned businesses in Oakland, Alameda County, state of California, and in America. The good old boys will try to break you down and not build you up. So stand by your man, stand by your woman, and let's grow our families to what we know they could be. Dr. Ashley, I'm going to take the camera off so I don't do too much moving around, but I'm going to come back with Chef Mimi and her husband, Chad. Give me 2 minutes, but I'm going to be listening to you.
Okay. What a day of celebration, surprises, and gratitude. And in light of all of the love being spread, I guess what I want to bring to the forefront is asking ourselves, when is the last time you've celebrated your progress? So I know that when Donnie came on earlier today, he asked us about what about entrepreneurs who may be frustrated or may hear these grim prognoses about inflation, about the economy, about the housing market. And there we can hear a lot of doom and gloom. This can be disappointing. I talked about, kind of pivoting or adjusting our timelines, but there's grief along with that. And so when we do have long-term goals, sometimes we have these beliefs. We call them in psychology conditional beliefs, such as I am not allowed, I'm not allowed to celebrate my progress until I reach the finish line. And so again, we're not done. We're here at the 1 minute mark, 1 year mark. And so we want to just pause to say, ooh, yeah, we did something here. We've made it, but we have more to go. So I want to invite our audience to do that as well. Sometimes just catching your breath, acknowledging your progress can help with all the momentum. Okay, so our producer, are you there, Doug? Okay, well, Doug's getting ready to come on, but in the interim, I do want to acknowledge the comments, and I'm scrolling up, and our producer wants us to do this so that we can start crying. So again, from TDS Budget Watchdog, happy podcast anniversary to you and Dr. Ashley. Dr. Chica, you have always been your dad's right hand, and mi corazón. Oh, I see.
Well, you might not be able to hear us, but I want this gentleman who is the husband of Chef Mimi introduce himself.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. My name is Chad, and as you mentioned, I am the other half of Chef Mimi. She's the better half, so I'm just the other half. So we're here at the summit, just kind of hanging out with all these beautiful people, and just trying to, just do something different, shake up the industry, and give people an opportunity to hear those in the industry give some great insight on how to get into the industry and the trends and things that's going on. So we're excited about it and glad you guys chimed in and to be able to join us.
No, thank you for joining us, you and your wife. Can you tell us a little bit about the event, about the summit?
I'm sorry,
you can barely hear me.
The volume is like real low, so I'm sorry, I can't hear you, but I hope you heard me.
Yes, I did.
Yes,
I did.
Yes. So thank you again for coming and sharing in this magical moment. Is going to be great. We got some great panelists, and as you can see.
Oh wow! Okay.
We're just registering people right now, getting everybody involved and excited, and got some music playing in the background. So we're super excited, and thank you again for hanging out with us today.
Oh, thank you for having us, Chad. Pleasure to meet you.
I know Mimi's going to be over here soon. She's mingling right now. So when she breaks away, I'll make sure that she comes in and gives a shout out to you.
Okay, thank you.
What's the name of this event, too, and let everyone know?
Okay, this event is the Black Food and Wine Experience Summit. This is our 5th year, but this is our first year doing the summit.
Okay.
So this event is just highlights Black restaurants, Black chefs, Black winemakers, Black coffee maker, ice cream makers, anything Black in the food space. She supports. So we're going to have maybe about 40 to 45 Black-owned businesses in here so they can kind of mingle and meet the people and sample their food, and we're gonna have a live cooking competition.
Oh, wow.
A whole bunch of things going on here, and just having fun and supporting Black businesses in this community. That's what we're all about.
That's wonderful.
Minutes too, Dr. Ashley. This gentleman, Chad, showed me an invention he made. Can you briefly tell our audience about that?
So I'm also an inventor. Besides being a supporter, I'm also an inventor. I created the world's first detachable basketball and fitness training tool. So right now, I've actually been working with Steph Curry, him and his family, Klay Thompson. I've traveled all over. My product is also in Africa right now, which I'm super excited.
Wow.
Be in the motherland. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm creating an opportunity for kids who look like me to see someone doing something different in the basketball space.
Right.
Although I played professional basketball, I was a college All-American, I coached and I trained, but I'm also doing something other than playing basketball. I'm creating opportunities for these kids to feel comfortable to do something other than just playing. So that's my contribution. She does the food, I do the basketball, and we just work together and support each other.
Wow. Teamwork. Salute. Congratulations. That sounds amazing. Yes.
My product is called Ball by Yourself, and you can find it at ballbyyourself.com. Check it out. And I'm going to be doing a lot of things in the community with the kids, and that's just what I do. That's my give back. So once again, thank you. And
thank you.
Again, the product is Ball by Yourself. It can be found at ballbyyourself.com.
Okay, ballbyyourself.com. Okay, we'll check that out.
See you later.
All right.
As you can see, folks, we have got an all-star lineup. And I'm trying to get, we got Chef Mimi. Hold on, we're going to break away. And Chef Mimi, this is
Hi, Chef Mimi.
Hi, Dr. Ashley.
How you doing?
So, yeah, we're here at the Black Food and Wine Experience, our Grand Summit. This is our first time doing this event here in the Bay Area. It is adjacent to the Black Food and Wine Grand Tasting that happens on Sunday. We're actually in our third activation. We did a Black food wash. I'm sorry. We did a Black and Asian solidarity dinner on Saturday, just to show support. We also did a Black Wall Street dinner on Tuesday, and then we're moving into our Black Food and Beverage Summit. We got some amazing people on the panel. They're going to be talking about food and beverage and where we should be going as a community in terms of our community. We got some really cool vendors here, so thank you guys for having us, and make sure you follow me on I Am Chef Mimi, and also the Black Food and Wine Experience on Instagram, and you can go to my website at thechefmimi.com.
Thank you, Chef Mimi. Thank you.
As you can see, audience, we have an event here today. So as we wrap it up, I just want to say, Dr. Ashley, we have an outstanding second year, and I am fully grateful for all that you have done, because as you know, when you met me, I was having I had a splinter in my brain. It's still there, but it's not as big as it was. But I want to say, audience, when you have a broken leg, you go see a doctor. When you have a cavity, you go see a dentist. When you have a splinter in your brain, when you think that you can't make it, when you think that no one is there to talk to, Dr. Ashley, can you briefly give them the information to reach out so that our people can be healthy mentally for national hotlines? Thank you.
Yeah, so therapy for Black girls, as well as therapy for Black men. As you can always too go through your insurance or look for providers through the Association of Black Psychologists, and also Psychology Today, where you can use filters to find providers near you. Remember that it may take some time just because of wait lists, but one strategy that you can use is to print out a list or split up a list and have a loved one, a trusted loved one that that can support you in calling the provider so that you can tag team. Sometimes you'll meet a nice match at the first meeting, sometimes you have to just kind of vet. Remember, kind of looking for safety, someone that you feel like will understand what you're saying, will listen to you, and will respond compassionately.
Well, audience, as we wrap this outstanding show of Blast from the Past, Kim, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you, girl. You brought some past guests on that just shared with me the outstanding information that we're giving our audience all across this country. I'm not going to say Oakland anymore, but all across this country. And before we close out, Alameda County Housing Secure Emergency Rent Assistance Program. I just got a text. We got one more guest coming on, Lord. Kim, you're going to give me a heart attack. I'm going to really need you today, Dr. Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to what I said, we have a program in Alameda County called Alameda County Housing Secure Emergency Rent Assistance Program. This program was designed to help. Oh, she just said, well, we're all done. Okay. Thank you, Kim. This program was designed to help people who've been affected by the pandemic. This program either is being maintained and monitored by incompetent or incapable people who get paid checks. An organization gets paid checks. Central Legal get paid checks, but have their people who are waiting for their rent to get paid, waiting up to 200 plus days and far out as a year. Alameda County Housing Secure, Alameda County Board of Supervisor, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You shouldn't call it Emergency Rent Assistance Program. You should call it If We Can Get to You Assistance Program. Shame, shame, shame. And audience, I'm going to continue to highlight this because there are programs that are being administered by second and third party that are getting paid big chunks of money, but aren't administering those hundreds of millions of dollars that are supposed to be designed to help people through this pandemic. And keep posted on blackusa.news, the Black Business Roundtable. As I want to say, we are taking next week off, June 23rd, and back June 30th. Thank you, audience, for tuning in. And remember, together, we can listen, we can learn, and we can share. Because I know you care. I know you care. And Kim, I know you care because you blew me away today. This is Doug Blacksher and Dr. Ashley Coleman of the Black Business Roundtable. God bless and good night. Dr. Ashley, I'm finna go get some wine and food, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Network for me. Enjoy. And thank you, audience and family and friends, for tuning in.
God bless and good night.